Hello! Welcome to Show of the Week Live. It's another Wednesday. We are here.
Hey, everybody.
Hope you're doing well. Some good posing, some good voguing from Jane there. Yeah.
I don't want to tread on your intro line. I want to give you the stage. I want to give you the spotlight.
I don't want to talk over your voguing, so...
It's your time to shine.
Mike demands the spotlight.
Yes, let us know how you're getting on today. How we're doing.
Just put some headphones in. We're coming in hot today, or I am.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
Yeah, we've got a packed show today, or as packed as it normally is. Pretty much the regular level of packing, actually. We're talking about Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York, which has just come out on Xbox One.
Literally today.
Yeah.
Question one.
Yes.
What is a coterie?
It's a vampire
What
gang.
a great question.
It's your vampire gang.
Okay. It was a kind of French bread. I feel like you go into a boulangerie and order a coterie.
What I enjoy about the name of the video game Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York is it's the most Vampire the Masquerade name for a video game possible.
Yeah.
Except unless it was called perhaps I don't know, the Inquisition of the Camarilla. You know.
Yes,
I love it.
It's very lore heavy. But
I'll take a Camarilla as well. And a couple of
Camarilla.
And a brioche. And a croissant. Yeah, so we'll be talking a bit about that. I played it. Jane's played a little bit of it as well.
I was playing it just earlier today, and I already got myself murdered in a really, really exquisitely horrible way.
Wait, can you die in the game?
I died in the first, I want to say 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So it's my Dark Souls.
Right, fair enough. Cool. We'll also be chatting a bit about some of the news and what's been coming out recently, and going through some comments as well from our various videos and stuff. But let's have a look at how people are doing in the chat. James Levi is a new member, welcome. And Gentle Mandrill says, hey guys, how you all doing? Hope you had a nice Easter, even with all the stuff that's been going on. Thank you for all the streams and videos. They really help keep us sane. You're amazing. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. We're happy to keep making
You're amazing.
You're breathtaking.
You're all breathtaking. I ate a lot of eggs.
Yeah, me too.
Both regular and chocolate.
I think it's an effect of the lockdown that I ate more chocolate this Easter than I think I've eaten in the last 3 Easters combined. When there's nothing else to do, just eating chocolate eggs is, you know...
Kills the time,
it does.
Passes the day.
Yeah, chewing just passes the time.
Digesting.
Yeah. Feeling guilty.
Deploying my tract on chocolate.
Yeah, so the weather was quite nice as well, so hopefully people managed to get up their exercise.
What weather I observed through the window was nice.
Well, you know, if you managed to get out for your permitted exercise, hopefully you got to enjoy the weather a little bit. Yeah, it was good. 4 days off. We did a bit of streaming as well, didn't we? I streamed a bit on... Well, we were both streaming on Friday night, weren't we? It was KK Fest on Outside Extra first, which was really good fun.
Saturday, yeah. Wait, which day was that? What day is it?
Who knows what day it is?
Friday.
It was Friday, wasn't it? Yeah.
What damn day is any day anymore? I can't handle it. Between the lockdown and a 4-day weekend, in the UK we have a bank holiday Friday and a bank holiday Monday after Easter.
Yeah.
Between 2 4-day working weeks and a 4-day weekend and lockdown, I have no idea.
What year is it? Who's the president?
I genuinely don't know what month it is now.
Still April, apparently. Still April, if you can believe it.
Seem right.
But yeah, so we had KK Fest on Outside Extra. It was really good fun.
Oh, what a treat!
That was fun.
KK Slider's first arrival in Luke's Island, playing such classics as KK Dirge and whatever else he's got. What are the other songs?
An encore of KK Dirge.
Yeah.
KK Dirge, how would you describe KK Dirge for Animal Crossing newbies, Andy?
Well, I mean, Dirge is correct. It's a kind of spooky, monotone kind of... it's the sort of thing like a monk might chant in a haunted house.
Okay.
But also, if you listen to the record version of it, it's full of weird static and sort of whispering noises and it's very...
That's
terrifying. Very cursed.
So is this on loop in your haunted mansion, Andy?
Yeah, I had to buy 4 record players, so there's one in each room playing it.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about Animal Crossing in a little while in the news section. The other thing, I had probably the most self-indulgent stream I've ever done, which is playing Daytona against.
We couldn't stop him, folks.
Yeah,
we tried.
Yep. I just I unplugged the phone.
We're in different houses now. We can't physically intervene when Mike gets on the internet.
Yeah.
And decides to stream his favourite racing game.
Jane, what we need is a drone. We can
fly through the window.
We can fly it over to Mike's house.
It just
and then
cut my
confiscate
neck
his
with the blades.
controller
We set it up and then fly it over there.
to confiscate his streaming equipment.
Anyway, it was lovely. Everyone was really nice. Everyone indulged me and played against me in my favourite racing game, and we had a really good time. We had a lovely time. It was wholesome fun. It was good, wholesome.
Oh, mate, in
fun.
racing news, I finished watching the F1 season 2 documentary thing on Netflix.
So go on then.
No,
how did you feel? How did you feel?
People
Monsieur
aren't watching it for
Gasly
this.
he's a beautiful human being.
He is a beautiful human
He
being.
does all the good things.
He really does.
I'm going to sign out of this call.
Sorry,
Andy has left the call.
I'm a Gasly stan now these days.
I'm so glad you made it to the end of that documentary. And yeah, the final episode is full of feels. It's full of feels.
They're all adorable.
They are.
Especially Monsieur Gasly.
Well, they're all children, basically.
Oh no! Did Andy actually leave his
Andy
call?
has legit left the call.
Oh no, he's probably broken the stream now. He's probably...
There's just a big Skype logo where he used to be.
Oh no.
He's back. He's back.
Still talking about
that was risky for a bit, Andy. To do a bit.
Yeah, it was.
Because you hate
That's how serious
Gasly.
I am.
Yes. So yeah, let's talk a bit about the news and stuff then, because Animal Crossing is out and you guys have been playing it, right? I've got some footage here off of Andy's island. This is Andy's lovely looking island. You've
check out my
you've been busy.
orchard.
There's a small tiger there. Is that stuffed or is it alive?
It's not alive. It's stuffed.
That's horrifying.
Did you capture this? How did you capture this, Andy? Was it with like the in Switch capture stuff, or was it?
Yeah, when you're playing, if you want to capture from the Switch, you've just got to use the dock.
But isn't of course.
But you can't do it with the Switch Lite. Yeah.
I've got one of those switches that doesn't dock, that doesn't go on your TV.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's good. It means you're never on the hook for capturing Switch footage.
Yeah.
Well, it means that my TV is constantly free for screening Netflix and Animal Crossing the way it was meant to be experienced.
Who is that neon
Godzilla.
bear?
Do you have Godzilla in your path there?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's in my orchard. I spent about 4 hours replanting my orchard because I didn't like how haphazard the trees were. So now everything's in rows. This would look a lot nicer if there were fruit in it.
Yeah.
I like the petrol pump. The petrol pump's nice.
Fruit. Yeah.
It wasn't a fruit day that day.
Yeah, I sold all the fruit because I'm trying to pay off like a 1.2 million Bell mortgage at the moment.
Now, Andy, is this haunted-looking place your house with the torches and the skull and crossbones on the door?
Yeah, and the iron door and the.
I gave Andy that skull and crossbones on the door.
Nice.
That was a donation.
Sure did. That was
from
a
Jane's
sweet gift from Jane. Thank you very much.
And the black tulips, the goth flowers.
Oh yeah, Jane got me these rare black tulips.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get those anywhere
I got
else.
them from a mystery island. They're imported.
Yeah.
I'm getting real.
Did you know, like, black tulips were genuinely like super valuable, right?
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, when there was like tulip fever, when tulips were more valuable than diamonds, like black tulips were the most valuable.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone loved it.
A little bit of history.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying Animal Crossing. I've played a bunch of Animal Crossing games before, but I've never got into them to the extent that I've got into this one. And I don't know if it's just because I've got so much time on my hands at the moment.
It's definitely that.
It might be.
I mean, obviously they're delightful, wholesome, nourishing video games, but it's also that no one has anything else they can do.
Yeah,
literally.
I'm looking at this beach with this lounger, and I'm just daydreaming about being on a beach on a lounger. So
it's the perfect game. It is the if they couldn't have planned it better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a conspiracy started by Animal Crossing, but it's literally a simulator for leaving your house and going outside and talking to friends and being sociable.
Andy, what is that trapdoor in your bathroom? What is down there?
Oh, never you mind about that.
I just thought that was like a shower drain. You know, like
Yeah, sure.
a nice wet room.
Yeah,
bathroom.
like wet room. Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
allows
then the water
material to
drains.
sluice through.
Material.
Yeah.
Oh god.
through.
The thing that's great about Animal Crossing is that all of your aims and goals in it are so low stakes, but
Aww.
you're still excited about it. So I'm having like my old rubbish bridge demolished, and then tomorrow there's going to be a new, nicer looking bridge, and I'm so excited about it.
I do not remember there being this much variety in terms of the decorations in old Animal Crossing games, right?
No, and there wasn't like crafting. Crafting is
Yeah.
new. Lots of stuff is new. You should get into it, Mike.
It's got animated wallpapers and floors now.
They are a bit weird. No, they feel a bit trippy. They feel a bit like you're on some sort of hallucinogenic substance.
Right.
Because I've got a floor that's like a moving river and a wall that's like a moving sky.
Oh god.
And it's a bit like you've taken something too strong.
Need to go and have a
the
lie
one
down.
that's a science lab though. It's got like bats that are all like bubbling.
No,
and
that
stuff.
sounds amazing, and I
Yeah,
would
it's
like
really-
it very much.
Keep an eye out for it.
Well, I'm liking your haunted mansion aesthetic, Andy. It looks very good,
Thanks.
and you've got you've got the shining carpet, you've got the haunted mansion wallpaper.
Yeah, I've went heavily in on turnips this week, so we'll see how that pans out.
I saw that you've got them all in your bedroom. Is that for safekeeping? Are you just
just
sitting in your bed with a shotgun?
I'm not carrying them around. I can take up my entire.
And you can't put them in your storage, can you? They just have to sit on the ground somewhere.
I tell you, if I can't get a good turnip price,
you're ruined.
Never going to recover financially.
Oh no, it's going to be Andy Recession 2020.
Oh no.
Anyway, Animal Crossing, it's great.
Yeah,
it is great.
It does look good. I had a little Animal Crossing party in the garden on Saturday night. I had like set a projector up and played Animal Crossing in the outdoors. It was weird.
If people do want to see my house, because I posted a few pictures on Instagram, I'll share them over on the Oxventure Instagram as well. But I've got like a sort of laboratory study thing going on in my main room, and I'm very proud of it. I like it better than I like my actual home.
Oh yeah,
but that's why it's escapism. It's because it's like better than your real life.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't afford extensions to my home in real life.
No one can afford extensions in real life. Well, I've been playing the other game that is out at the moment. The other big release, which is Final Fantasy. It's finally here. It's one of those games that's a bit like you can sort of barely believe that you're playing it because it's been so sort of hyped and so long in the making and things. But the good news is it's really, really good. And I need to play a bit more because Luke has already finished the game. He's already rattled through it, whereas I'm sort of a little bit behind. But I really want to have a discussion with Luke on Outside Extra once I've completed it, because I've heard there's some quite big stuff that happens towards the end that is, I'm assuming, different from the original game. So I think there's definitely something in there for existing fans, but also Luke has really, really enjoyed it, which is super heartening, because the thing we sort of said from the start is we were never really sure whether people who didn't care about these characters already would feel as attached. But from what I can tell, he's been completely sort of lost to it and has absolutely blazed through. I think he spent 36 hours completing it. And knowing Luke, he won't have skipped too much. So I think that's probably a fairly good representation of how.
I can't believe he completed it like over the long weekend, basically.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
That's really telling. I think that's a sign of quality.
Yeah. Are you guys going to play it?
He gave me and Ellen a content-free sort of spoiler heads up.
Right.
Does that make sense? Not a specific like story-based spoiler discussion.
Okay.
But he's like, there is a thing, and it would be interesting that you're aware of this thing, and also you can look out for it, this thing, when it happens.
Yes.
So in a very generalized way, he was like, this is something interesting, and you need to play this game, and then we need to talk about it. So I'm even more motivated to get through it now, but where am I going to find the time when I've got to do Animal Crossing
You've got turnips
stuff?
to sell.
I've got to check that turnip price at least every hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. I can say as a fan, it's pretty much everything I hoped it would be. It's obviously not exactly the same game, but I think the real triumph for me, and it's not really what I was expecting to love, is the combat. The combat manages to keep the kind of tension and sort of rhythm of the original turn-based combat, but also gives you things to do and gives you kind of skill-based sort of real-time combat to excel at as well. So it's really, really good, and it makes me kind of want to go back to Final Fantasy 15, which is a weird thing. So like when I finish this, I'm like, I'm ready.
I would interrogate that instinct.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably play it for half an hour and be like, oh no, this is bad. But yeah, it's
presentation. From the little bit that I played, the presentation is very much like, it's not nostalgia based. Like the way it's presented and packaged, it is like, this is a new Final Fantasy game.
Absolutely,
do you know what I just mean, like the interfaces and the menus and their HUD and stuff like that. It is very much like, this is what Final Fantasy is now. Rather than, I thought it would have like a nostalgic like bleep 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 menu or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going big on that sort of full-on nostalgia kind of cash-in.
No,
weirdly,
no, it's
in ways that they haven't.
But I think that's to its credit. You know, like the original game's been re-released so many times. I think
true.
It's great to have something that feels modern and fresh and new and has something to it. Even the music, which I adore all the original music. but they've remastered it and re-recorded it all, and there's new tunes in there and stuff. And I think I mentioned last week maybe, or the week before, that I went a bit bonkers and bought the soundtrack CD, which is like 70 quid's worth.
Yeah, I can't believe that's so much money to spend.
I know, but I've just
so much money.
I went temporarily mad. I hadn't even been drinking. I'd just been playing it for like 3 hours, and I was fully indoctrinated. And I was like, I've got to have this soundtrack. So that'll be arriving at some point.
Do you remember that movie Advent Children?
Yes.
That had like Final Fantasy VII characters in it. It's weird to be playing a game that sort of looks
even better
than Advent Children, but is the Final Fantasy VII cast of characters.
It's astonishing.
That's very strange.
Yeah, I don't think Advent Children was a particularly good film, but obviously I hoovered it up like the good Final Fantasy fan I was.
Oh man, do you remember Spirits Within?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that was circa Final Fantasy, I don't know, 8 or 9, wasn't it? It was around then. And that looked, I mean, it looks trash now, but it looked amazing at the time. So.
Yeah. And that also absolute nonsense in terms of the storyline.
Also not a great movie,
no. But are you, so having played a bit of Final Fantasy VII Remake, are you like jonesing for a Final Fantasy VIII Remake afterwards? I think that's the next one they'll do. I don't know. I don't know if they will actually. I don't know if it'll get that same treatment because it's not as momentous. It's not as like iconic for one. But I think having flexed their ability to make a really good remake that feels like a modern.
But they haven't even finished making it. Like,
no.
That's just they've still got to do the rest of their Final Fantasy.
Maybe in 2030 we'll get it.
Yeah, I think that's about the right time.
Also, I think Final Fantasy VIII for me is like it's attached to a very specific like point in my life, a very specific emotional maturity that I think it would probably no longer speak to me the way it spoke to me when I was a very little girl. So
you could get like a punky fish top and some JNCO jeans and a wallet chain,
and just like time warp back to my Final Fantasy VIII heyday.
It is like
maybe.
It is like a warm hug for me that even though it's a new game and a modern game, it is like it takes me so and when a certain like musical motif kicks in or like a remaster of a classic tune, I'm just like, oh, this is so good. And you know, I think it's brilliant. I think it's well worth playing. If you're a fan, if you're not already a fan, it's a great place to. I think it's a great place to start with the kind of modern Final Fantasies. So yeah.
Little sidebar that's unrelated. Before we wrap up on Final Fantasy.
Sure.
I've noticed a bunch of comments in the comments from people who think that Andy's sort of orange shirt looks like he's not wearing a shirt. So I just wanted to give a little heads up to.
Yeah, I always get that when I wear this shirt. It's kind of orange.
Does it look nude when it's sort of, I don't know,
in real life?
Compressed by Skype.
It's a very nice kind of pastel.
Look at it. Pastel neon, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
pastel
neon,
like
a fluoro orange.
Fluoro, day glow. Yeah. Anyway, he's not shirtless. Is the
not yet. Not yet.
Not so far.
Let's see how this stream goes.
If he really liked Final Fantasy VII, the t-shirt would
it'd be off.
I'd be helicoptering.
Cool.
What else about Final Fantasy VII, Mike? How far through are you? Do you think?
I'm probably, I reckon, only sort of halfway, maybe. Probably about halfway. I'm taking my time. I'm really trying to
savor it.
Yeah, absolutely savor it. Yeah, I'm there, grinding so I can afford the really expensive hand massage in Wall Market and things like that.
Oh my god.
I'll take your part.
Yeah.
Okay, what strikes you about Final Fantasy VII now that in a different way to how it struck you when you were a little kid back in the day?
I think what's really pleasing about it is the sort of aesthetics or seeing those kind of. I think I've said this before, but basically, like when you saw the original graphics, they looked really amazing for the time because they were pre-rendered and things.
Yeah.
But your imagination still had to kind of fill in the gaps, and your sense of kind of place and location was less developed. And now it just feels like a completely coherent world. And that wasn't something that I felt was like lacking previously, but it's just sort of amplified now. Really, games at the time were never like, there was no Oblivion, there was no Skyrim, there was none of this stuff really. So this idea of like an open world game or open-ish world game that felt like a real place and felt like a, when it expands out in the second disc, it feels like an entire planet basically with settlements and all sorts of stuff. It's fascinating to have that amplified and have that sense of place and that sense of sort of 3D space. to quite sort of recognizable, familiar environments. So yeah, that's the major difference I think for me is that sort of really feeling like it's a real place and really being able to poke into all the little corners. And we did a video on Outside Extra actually, which was the kind of like sort of glow ups that well-known locations have had. And it's really cool putting them side by side and comparing them. So if you
that's
are a fan,
really good video. Yeah, if you are a fan, or even if you're not, there's something really pleasing to the human brain about look at this thing, and now compare it to this similar looking other thing.
Yeah.
And now look at the both of them. And there's something just intrinsically pleasing about that. It's a great video.
And with those sort of with those rose tinted sort of glasses, you know, it always looked a lot better in your mind than it actually did. So yeah, seeing them side by side, the sort of comparison is stark. On a similar note, we did a similar thing with we played the new Skyrim content on Elder Scrolls Online on Outside Xbox, and there's a video on Outside Xbox comparing Skyrim as you know it with Skyrim in the Elder Scrolls Online. So
it's like here's Dragon Bridge, and here's Dragon Bridge, and the funny thing is that they are set 1,000 years apart, the two games, Elder Scrolls Online and Skyrim. But it turns out they built stuff to last back then,
durable,
because it looks pretty similar. It does look pretty similar. Obviously, there are changes for story reasons, but it's not like. It's not like in Skyrim it's all crumbled and become decrepit or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
I thought they'd be a bit more playful with it, actually, to be honest, in Elder Scrolls Online. I thought there'd be sort of, you know, locations and hints of things that come to pass in Skyrim, but they played it with quite a straight bat.
I think it's easier to do the other way around.
Yeah.
If Elder Scrolls Online was set 1,000 years later, it would be easy to do like recognisable landmarks that had been sort of worn away than it is to kind of somehow seed the idea of something that will 1,000 years later appear in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's, you know, it doesn't take 1,000 years generally to build a bridge or something. So, it's tricky.
The thing that they didn't do, which everyone wanted to see, was obviously in Skyrim, the original game, the College of Winterhold is like falling into the ocean and is being held together with magic.
Exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Winterhold before it got blasted into the ocean by a bunch of dumb mages. Yeah.
And like 90% of the comments were like, can't wait to see Winterhold, and I'm like, no, it's not in there. It's not that part of Skyrim.
That's in the Winterhold expansion.
Yeah, coming 2023. Yeah.
But also we did a video based on Grand Theft Auto 5 and San Andreas.
Ages ago,
Similar vein, ages ago, obviously before GTA 5 came out. And talk about games that look better in your memory than they do in actual life.
It's a real horror show, San Andreas, isn't it? The original.
Kind of, but it's still really pleasing for some reason, or maybe it's just my brain, but to look at two versions of the same thing.
Side by side, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it looks better now, but it's just, I think, something about doing comparisons that is just quite pleasing. Just, fires off my pleasure neurons or something.
Should we have a few comments?
Yeah, why not? There's got to be lots.
Something we have for
do it.
I can see lots of comments.
Get up here.
Gosh, loads.
AMX6191 says hello from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hello to Phoenix, Arizona. How's it going over there?
That's where Tombstone was, all the cowboys. Not now.
What have they got now in Phoenix, Arizona?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
I mean, I want to go, obviously. I want to go everywhere. I literally want to go everywhere on the
literally anywhere that isn't my house.
Yeah.
Things to do in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, man. Go to the Desert Botanical Gardens.
That sounds... Oh, my God, there'd be so many good cacti.
So many cactuses.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine the cacti in the Botanical Gardens in Arizona? Jeez.
Oh, Scottsdale Segway Tour. I'm in.
There is
Segway tour, yes.
There is a racetrack in Arizona, obviously, because there's racetracks everywhere. Is
it a speedway?
It is a speedway. Yeah, it's quite cool because it's like in the desert and it's got a big deserty mountain, so the scenery's quite nice.
That sounds great. Oh, Mike, I also watched Le Mans.
Oh, the Le Mans 66 one.
Le Mans. Yeah.
How did you find that?
It was good. It was quite good.
Andy's quit again. Andy's quit.
And you will not stand for us talking about racing things. No. I quite enjoyed it.
Some good performances. It's not perfect, but the racing stuff looks really good. So I was happy.
Yeah.
Brandon Knoll says, love everything you guys do. Phantom Dust is an Xbox game that I love, but no one knows. What are some of your hidden gems?
Isn't Phantom Dust the one that they were going to remake or something? Haven't they announced at an E3 that they were going to do a Phantom Dust remake?
And everyone was like, what the heck is Phantom Dust?
Everyone's like, what the heck is it? And then we haven't heard anything since, so...
it was published by Microsoft Game Studios for the Xbox in 2004. It was a real-time strategy action video game.
Cool.
And I think it was a Japanese developer, so it may have gotten not like a really loud, warm reception. Makes me think of, not in the same genre, but do you remember Lost Odyssey for the Xbox?
Yes,
Yeah.
three
was
or
really
four
good,
disc
but also-
epic, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't set the world on fire. It was kind of like low key in its way. Yeah, and I think that was MGS as well, wasn't it? I don't know, published by MGS? I can't
Possibly,
remember now.
yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Roman Pagan has a definition of coterie for us, which is a small group of people with shared interests or tastes. Vampires.
Vampires
Vampire
have both
gang.
shared interests and tastes.
Yeah.
Especially one that is
Shared
exclusive
interest
of other
is
people.
drinking blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Shared
taste is blood. Yeah.
So like in VTM, the tabletop game, we'll get around to Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York to give it its full
Stick
name.
around, folks.
But
Stick
it's
around.
based on the tabletop role-playing game.
Yes.
And in the tabletop role-playing game, obviously factions, like big factions are important, and clans are important, but then within a faction, within that you've got the clan, and then within that you've got your little coterie, your little coterie, your
vampire
clique.
party.
It's like a vampire clique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vampire party, your clique.
That's what a
They're
coterie
very
is.
cliquey, yeah.
Ben Church is a new member, as is David Niska. Welcome, you guys. Enjoy your emoji. Brandonius says, just finished Life is Strange, cried like a baby, but the Walking Dead game was way more emotionally heartbreaking. What game hit your feels the most? I've got a bad feeling about Final Fantasy VII Remake, actually. I've got a feeling it's going to hit me right in the feels, and I'm going to be very upset.
No, I've
Got a
got a
bad
good feeling
feeling
about this
about
Eris
this.
character. She sounds these kids are going to make it.
Yeah, Life is Strange was really moving. So was Walking Dead. So was Last of Us.
Red Dead
What
2.
else? Red Dead, obviously Red Dead. What else was like moving?
Red
What
Dead
else
2,
gave me feels?
though.
Red Dead. When I say Red Dead, I mean the Red Dead
Okay.
oeuvre. I mean the canon of Red Dead. What else? What made you weep?
A bit of, I mean, Mass Effect has its moments, doesn't it? Like, Mordin Solus. That's a bit of a moment, isn't it? Yeah. Probably anything that's a big RPG where you get super invested in A, your character, and B, all the other characters. Has the potential to ruin your life. And the problem is that I've had like 23 years of being attached to Final Fantasy VII remake, Final Fantasy VII characters, and in the remake they're even more fleshed out and even more like realistic and emoty. So I'm in real trouble. I might have to just stop playing it. Luke T. Simmons says, "Happy Thursday, Oxbox." No, wait, what day is it, Jane? All my meetings are on one day, so I finish.
Don't do that, Luke, because I'm now thinking it's Thursday.
All my meetings on one day, so I finish at 5 with enough time to grab 2 beers and enjoy. Cheers. Well,
2 beers, hooray!
Glad you're enjoying your 2 beers. Coltono DK leaves a little squirrel squeezing a heart. That's adorable. Scott Jacobs is a new member. Tom Titherington says, "Yay, I'm happy to see you all." Happy to see you too, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
Tom.
Linth is a new member. Lissa Leo waves and says hello. Hello to you.
Hello.
Gosh, so many comments. Thank you so much for all these comments, guys. Nameless Jack's Shadow says, might the Ox Venturers consider a Vampire the Masquerade one-shot for Halloween? Cheers and best lockdown wishes to you all from Colorado. We'd love to do some vampire stuff. Maybe...
Wait, hang on. Wait, just hang on. Wait. I'm reaching out shot for a thing. Wait, is this going to work? Because I've got a green screen.
Is it green?
Look at
yeah,
it.
just about.
It's
a
kind
bit
of
blurry.
green.
There you go.
Blurring
We can see it.
background, and therefore also the book.
This was a lovely gift. I don't know if you can even see, but it's the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade.
It's blurring like it's obscene.
Yes.
It is obscene. It's obscenely good.
desirable. Yeah.
So yeah, we are primed and ready to go. We are hankering up.
It'll
for that.
happen at some point. And what better time than the Year of the Vampire? I would say.
Is it the year of the?
Well, it's the year of Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
I thought it was like a Chinese zodiac year that I didn't know about. Oh no, like Year of Luigi. Like Nintendo announced that it was Year of the Vampire.
The Year of Luigi. Easter Falls has asked if we've dived into Final Fantasy VII. I think we mentioned a lot of that stuff. And also, should the remakes continue? Is a Final Fantasy VIII remake a good distant hope to have? Yes, it is a good hope to have, but yes, probably very distant, I think. Nisanta de Silva says there's a novel by Alexandre Dumas called The Black Tulip, which basically revolves around how valuable.
That's right. They were incredibly valuable, and it's dumb because they're flowers.
Yeah.
Can we just genetically engineer them now? They like 10 a penny.
Yeah, I mean you could if you wanted to now. It's easy. Yeah.
Like black pepper used to be incredibly valuable.
Really?
Like,
What?
yeah, sailors.
And now it's like the trash
little pouch of
condiment.
bits.
It's like
and it's like you buy in the supermarket for £1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredibly valuable.
Wow.
The one I like is that weren't carrots not originally like orange, but they ended up being selectively bred that way.
Yeah. See, we're learning so much on this.
Yeah. Cortana DK says, hi, Outside Xbox. I've spent hours in Far Cry 5 trying to get the fishing achievement. Jane, you like a good fishing achievement, don't you?
What is the fishing achievement in Far Cry 5? Do you just have to do a lot of fishing, or I'm going to look it up because I do like a bit of fishing.
I tried to fish using dynamite in Far Cry 5 and it did not work. So
not realistic. Okay, Hope County Master Angler achievement in Far Cry 5.
Hope County Master Angler sounds like an actual prize that you could get.
Oh, you've got to catch like a whole bunch of different fish in different parts of the the game world.
That sounds less fun than shooting baddies.
It's a bit like Animal Crossing in that way. Far Cry 5.
Do you remember they released another Far Cry game after Far Cry 5?
Yeah, it was like
Far Cry 5, The New Order. What was it called?
Far Cry 5. Now it's pink.
Now it's
Yeah.
5. That was
Far Cry 5. Now it looks a bit like Rage. What was it called? Oh my god!
I honestly can't remember.
Far Cry latest game, not the caveman one.
No.
Not the caveman one, but Far Cry New Dawn.
New Dawn. There you go.
New
Dawn.
There we go.
That's going in the same bin as Anthem for games that we've forgotten ever existed.
Oh.
T's Thrifting Fine says, Andy, I have a luchador statue for you and Skull Radio.
Oh man, I am good for both of those items. They are pride of place. I'm trying to get a wrestling room together. You can get a ring, and you can get this wrestling wallpaper that has like a crowd and like a barrier.
That's amazing.
But I've only seen it online. I haven't.
It's probably a more accurate representation of wrestling than WWE 2K20.
There's like an Animal Crossing Amazon, right? Like a place where you can go online and buy things on Animal Crossing.
Is it legal?
And then they'll get to not buy with real money, buy with bells or something, and then they come and deliver the thing to your island. You just have to trade like friend codes or something like that. So
nice.
Seems safe and legit. You should probably do it. Otherwise, how are you going to get your wrestling wallpaper? It's just chance. It's just RNG.
Reddit is a good one.
Yeah, that's true. But the non QR code items, it's just RNG. So you're going to have to get involved in like the deep web, the black market. The grey market for Animal Crossing.
Some rando's island, they'll rob me and drug me and throw me in or something.
It's more of a Craigslist of Animal Crossing.
Oh dear, that's even worse. Michael Woods, a new member. Can't Stop the Bee says, feeling especially grateful for you all sharing your life minutes with us. Thank you for the streams. Thank you for joining us for the streams.
I've got nothing but life minutes right now, and you are welcome to them. I'm glad you are enjoying them.
Blair P32 says, hello from North Carolina. Your streams and shows have helped keep me afloat during the quarantine. Thanks for all you do. Bring us more Mario Party. We've looked into Mario Party. And I'm not sure you can play like a conventional game of Mario Party online, which is ridiculous. Like, considering how sort of straightforward it should be. But yeah, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm sure when we all get together again, the Mario Party will flow once more.
Do you know what we could play? We could play like Pictionary. I was playing Pictionary the other day with a bunch of friends, like over Zoom. We could just do Pictionary, just Outside Xbox versus Outside Extra Pictionary.
Let's break out the parlor games. Or maybe
Chatbox or something.
Andy, do you have your copy of Atmosphere?
Yeah.
Could we make that work?
Yes. In theory.
Probably.
But isn't it on VHS? Wouldn't we have to find a way to stream a VHS onto the internet?
I think we can rip the VHS, probably.
Okay.
And put it.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I love
something to think about it. Yeah. John Sansko says, Jane, the last CD I bought was $30 US. Pretty expensive.
Wow.
Yeah. Quite
How much do
pricey.
these cost now? I guess they only make about 12 a year. So.
That's true. Jeremy Rock says, I've been spending most of my Final Fantasy VII Remake playthrough trying not to get nostalgic and emotional at every turn. It is difficult. It is a struggle.
That's what it's for. Get it. I mean, what else are you doing right now? Get emotional. Do a cry.
Yeah, why not?
You should be grateful. Like my favourite game, Monkey Island, they did a remastered special edition update of that, and it was terrible. It looked horrible.
Yeah, the art was bad, wasn't it? But at least, could you at least play with the original graphics but with the good voiceover?
No.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Baloney. Old Ends just says disrobe. I must have
New Dawn. Far Cry New Dawn?
I think it's probably Andy's.
That's Egbert's.
Yeah, it's Egbert's command.
Oh no, the D&D spell. Right.
Egbert's popular catchphrase. Disrobe.
Maybe they think that I've used it on you, Andy, because of your T-shirt.
Look, it's different colours. See?
Once it's all gotten compressed and mushed up by YouTube and Skype, it all just looks like nude
Yeah,
skin.
it's all nude.
All right, well
Fleshy
noted. I'll
nude
never wear it. I love this t-shirt. I'll never wear
Aww.
it.
Now look what you've done. And you will
Wear it
only ever
around.
wear black and grey ever again. So.
Yeah, try and inject a bit of colour.
I'm gonna move on briefly because we had one more little bit of news, very briefly, which I put some footage together for, which is
good.
Fallout Wastelanders update, which is out yesterday, as of yesterday.
Yesterday, which was February.
Yes, February.
Okay.
Yeah, it basically adds a load of story to Fallout 76. So the Fallout 76 was an online survival game, kind of boring, kind of empty, and full of robots, basically. They've clearly spent the last couple of years adding some storyline to it and some scripted missions and quests and things. We played a little bit of it. There'll be a bit of that on the channel coming up. But yeah, it's... I'm glad they're trying to fix this game. And it's sort of like they tried to fix Elder Scrolls Online and did a reasonable job of it. They seem to be trying to fix this as well. It's good that they haven't just completely abandoned it and fired the entire
I mean, it's too expensive. It's too big to fail.
Yeah.
They can't afford to abandon Fallout 76.
It's true.
But, you know, they saved Elder Scrolls Online, and now it's, like, good and successful, so who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it's kind of like the opposite of Animal Crossing in that you have to work really hard to have fun.
Yes.
Fallout 76.
I think that's
Whereas Animal Crossing, you just, if you get together with a friend, you just sort of have fun.
Yeah, just existing.
Animal Crossing gives you so little, and yet
Yeah,
you're having the most delightful time.
That there's nothing to do. You
Fallout gives you quite a lot, and you're still like, meh.
Also, you're not going to get murdered by super mutants in Animal Crossing as well, which is good.
Yeah.
I
Wait
think
for
they're
the
going to
seasonal,
introduce a patch.
seasonal April, March, May. What month is it? The seasonal June content.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll just there'll be a notice on the message board. It'll just say surprise.
Watch out,
Super
super mean.
Smash.
Shall we talk a bit about Vampire
Yes,
Coteries?
let's fulfill the editorial promise of the headline.
All right,
Yeah.
why not?
Video.
Coteries, New York.
We're only sort of 40 minutes in. Here we go. Here is some gameplay from Coteries of New York.
My game,
Yeah.
I just literally freshly captured, hot off the capture device,
So you
like an hour ago.
Fighting hot.
you only have 3 clans to pick from in this, and it's sort of like a kind of interactive story, basically.
It's like a Telltale game,
Yeah.
but it is text-based. It's not voice-acted, it's text-based, but it's got some lovely art.
Yeah, lovely art, lovely sort of
like an interactive
atmosphere
novel.
stuff as well, which is great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I played it over Christmas on the PC because I just had time on my hands. Not as much time on my hands as I have now, but yeah.
I imagine you at Christmas going, I'll never have
Yeah,
as much
exactly,
time on
yeah.
my hands as I do right now, in Christmas 2019.
But yeah, it was really pleasing. It didn't take that long to get through. But what's quite cool about it is that it's definitely only possible to see a certain amount of the content in a single playthrough.
Yeah.
So
You didn't find out you could die in
well,
the
I
first
know,
20
yeah, I had no
minutes.
idea about that. But also,
Does
No
everyone have
spoilers,
such?
but spoilers, I got my legs cut off.
Whoa! Damn.
what did you do?
Yeah, damn.
Is that footage in
VTM.
here?
Yeah, no, I took it out because I don't think anyone needs to see that. And also spoilers,
Yeah.
how it happens.
Right.
But yeah, VTM Coteries of New York goes ham.
Really, I expect legs cutting off to come in the second or third
In
hour.
the-
Yeah.
yeah, that's a second act reveal. No, I got a bit mouthy and yeah, I got smacked down by the Camarilla.
Oh, dear.
The
Does
Camarilla.
everyone have such elaborate haircuts?
They're all
Yeah.
beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. Have you seen this character art? Yeah.
I love.
And one of them is like a vampire John Wick or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is he the
dream.
sheriff guy?
The sheriff guy, yeah. Vampire
Kadir
John
or whatever
Wick.
his name is. I think he's
I'm
coming
here
up.
for it.
He's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some great characters. The really interesting one for me was the Malkavian character, who I'm not sure if you've met her yet, but I think we've just sort of discussed in the past maybe how it'd be quite easy to get the Malkavian thing wrong in terms of like a sort of awful depiction of kind of mental health and things.
Yeah.
But I think that the character in this one's quite cool. She's sort of hyper connected online kind of person who her Malkavian sort of stuff manifests as kind of like multiple personalities but different like chat room personalities. So she's like running an entire chat room single-handedly at all times, and it's a really interesting take. It's quite difficult to like pass the first time you meet her. But here's Vampire John Wick, by the way, on the screen with his long hair and his beard and stuff and his suit.
Oh, well, so which clan did you choose? Because there's 3 clans. It's Toreador, Ventru, and is it
Bruja,
Brua?
I think, yeah.
Brua, yeah.
I went for Toreador just because it was the one I picked for
Sexy
Sexy
Toreador.
Toreador. And you
Classic
start
Mike.
out, you're like a struggling artist, which is quite quite fun.
Of course.
And yeah, so I think the intro stuff is quite different depending on what clan you are and how you get embraced. But then beyond that, I think it's a little more sort of it's a little more similar. But what's quite cool is that so what you're doing is building up your coterie and building up a gang of vampires to kind of take someone on with, and you can choose who you kind of approach and spend time with, and you've got a sire as well who you're sort of trying to support at the same time. And in fact, you're I don't know if you would have had the same, not even sire, but like sort of someone takes you under their wing, basically.
A patron. Kind of a patron.
It's a better word,
I kind of got that. I kind of got towards that bit.
So, but it's just really pleasing. It's well written. The backgrounds and things, I think, are gorgeous.
It is well written, and I love that it's in New York because I know New York a little bit, and having that sort of sense of place, it does a good job with that. Actually, there's some beautiful like locations.
Yeah.
I mean, just early in the game, there's like a fancy restaurant in Williamsburg, and there's a house in Queens, and blah blah blah. So it's got a nice sense of place. Also, I like that it starts reasonably similarly to the way Bloodlines starts.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're always talking about Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines, the sequel to which is out this year.
The way.
But it begins with like your siring, like your embrace or whatever, and like that's the perfect entry point for a video game set in the world of VTM, like the tabletop RPG system. Because what better, or like here you go, blank slate. And in you go, choose a clan.
You've got to learn your new vampire powers. That's the tutorial. And like
Vampire Society is so like hierarchical and like structured that actually it's a really good framework for a video game because you have to work your way up through the ranks and you've got to do quests and missions for people. Yeah.
No, I love that. That sort of you're just sort of thrust into this kind of underworld you had no idea existed.
And the prince is like, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But dang it. We're gonna let you live or whatever.
I think it's particularly nice that this is out on Xbox at the moment because we were expecting Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 to be out around this time. Do you remember we were going to have three RPGs? We were going to have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk, and Vampire all within this kind of March-April period. And now we've only got one of them. Only one has survived.
Can you imagine if either Bloodlines and/or Cyberpunk was out right now?
It's so great.
We would have disappeared. We would have gone like Johnny Mnemonic or like Lawnmower Man into Cyberpunk, into Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and we'd have disappeared.
Yep.
Just be a pile of clothes.
Handing my way around.
I love this stuff where you're in the car as well in the rain.
Looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Yeah.
Very cool.
A little bit like the transition bits in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines where you're talking to the cab driver in the rearview mirror. Yep. I feel like that might be a reference, or it might just be cool and they thought they'd have that. Yeah.
I think it's a really nice. If you've ever been curious about the sort of tabletop game or Bloodlines, which is an older game now and maybe harder to get running, this is a really nice like appetizer. If you'll forgive the eating sort of metaphor. But yeah, it's sort of a shortish game. You can wrap it up in, I'd say, like 3 hours. Obviously, there's stuff to replay and things, but if you just want to play it once, you'll be through it in 3 hours, and it gives you a really nice taste of the of the kind of vampire fiction and the structure and that hierarchy and the clans and stuff like that. So it's a really, really
I feel like it would be good on Switch as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's out on Xbox One today, so that's where I'm playing it. But I think it would be like a really fun game to play on Switch as well.
Yeah.
Like a really nice handheld
So I
game.
actually, when I played it, I sort of jury-rigged this thing where I was streaming it to my phone via Steam. So Steam on the PC has a built-in thing.
You worked so hard to play this game on a mobile.
But it meant
I could do anything the easy way.
Yeah, it just meant I could sit on the sofa and play it on my phone, and it was a really relaxing sort of experience. Very good. I really liked it. They've announced a sort of expand-alone called Shadows of New York or something like that, which is coming. I guess the game's been pretty successful, so I think there's an expansion of some sort on the way as well. But definitely for the moment, if you haven't already played it on PC, Coteries of New York is very, very good.
Did you romance anyone? The crucial question: is it a thing in Coteries?
There's a bit of flirting and stuff, but there's not really any.
It's even the point.
There's not really any overt romancing. But then I don't think there was never. I think the only romance stuff in the original game, in the original Bloodlines, was a kind of Easter egg.
Sleazy?
Yeah, no, but it was kind of. I mean, probably was.
Yeah,
sleazy.
you're right.
But I think it was a kind of Easter egg thing.
No, it wasn't. It was like
You romanced an Easter egg.
No, I mean it was the club owner.
Yeah.
It was Jeanette, wasn't
But
it?
I mean, I didn't do that when I played it, and I don't.
What?
I think you had to. My understanding was you had to jump through quite a lot of hoops to make that happen.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's what vampires are into.
Jumping through hoops.
Jumping through hoops.
Sexy hoops.
But I think they
Yeah.
have. I think just because the romance stuff.
We're not angry, Mike. We're just disappointed.
Not as disappointed as I
No,
am.
you're right. You're right.
Um,
You're right. It wasn't like a BioWare approach
Yeah.
to everyone is potentially your vampire boyfriend /
But
girlfriend.
my understanding of
wasn't that way.
Bloodlines 2 is that because that stuff
Yeah.
is so popular in BioWare games, I think there will be some romance options.
Yeah, it's a different time.
Yeah.
They can't get away without
Putting some
that
sexy in it,
now.
yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, so the problem with playing this game though is it just makes me super hyped for Bloodlines 2, and I know that's like not anytime soon and may even be delayed by all this stuff. So
But there's also VTM Swan Song. Did you remember that when they announced that?
no, remind
There's
me.
another Vampire the Masquerade game coming out this year,
Yikes.
I believe. Although we haven't heard
Year of
anything
the
about it for
Vampire.
a while. Called VTM Swan Song.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting.
Year of the Vampire.
Well, so we've got
Watch this space.
we've got the expansion thing that's coming in, standalone expansion for this.
Don't say expand alone again.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, isn't it? And Bloodlines. So yeah, plenty to keep us busy, hopefully, in this, the Year of the Vampire. This is Sophie. So Sophie's the lady who looks after you after your sire ditches you at the start of the game, right?
Big in the hair.
Yeah, Sophie with the red hair. Yeah.
She's cool. She's a cool character. I really like the way she's written.
Ah, okay, okay, nice.
And this is
Nice.
Prince Panhard.
Panhard, yeah, that's an unusual name.
Yeah, it's weird,
I gotta
isn't
say.
But yeah, good vampiring. All right, fine, good. That was some good vampiring, worth checking
Thumbs
out.
up for Vampire.
Yeah.
Coteries.
Yeah, if you fancy a little.
And now finally it's out on everything. Xbox was the last to get it,
Yes.
but if you're playing on Xbox, it's all yours now.
Should we have a look at a few more comments from people in the chat, and then
Okay.
move on to some comments from some videos? Mad Mill says, "Yay, another weekday stream from my favourite Brits." I said this in the comment section last week, but I'm really happy to see everyone looking so well rested and glowing nowadays. Some of the glow is
That's
the
just,
ring light.
It's literally a ring light. I'm not well rested or glowing, but I do have a...
White says, "Skyrim is just afraid of progress. Thanks for the stream." Fair enough. Thanks, Zanzibar.
Oh, Skyrim's
Bunch of
really
blood
big
like-
into like conservation.
Yeah.
They're really
Yeah.
good at maintaining their like ancient
Yeah,
buildings
strong
and stuff.
strong sense of history.
Yeah, maybe.
Anthony Esposito says, well, after about 4 months of trying to catch a live show, I finally got one. It's like catching a shadow for me.
Hey.
Well, welcome, and
Good
thank
job.
you for your donation. Sam Chia says, just wanted to say thank you to all of you and Outside Extra for the great content and giving me something to take my mind off everything going on right now. Yeah, happy to help, happy to keep making stuff and, you know, keep people entertained during a tough period.
It's all going to keep coming. Got some
Yeah.
cool stuff coming up.
We definitely do, yeah. What else have we got? Ripper Sight says we should totally do Vampire. Yep, I think so. Mr. Hedgebull.
Has Johnny ever run a game of Vampire? I wonder.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's. I think it's a bit
I've
of a
asked
blind
him.
spot for him. Maybe.
I feel like maybe it's my turn to step up and learn
Yeah.
how to be like a vampire storyteller.
I think
It's
it'd
a
be
really
And then-
smart system for people who don't know
Yeah.
how it differs from Dungeons and Dragons, because you have a certain number of hunger dice, and as you play the game, you have to roll to prevent yourself from becoming hungrier.
Yep.
And when you become hungrier, you substitute one of your actual dice for a hunger dice, which means you're less likely to succeed on your rolls. So it sort of simulates you getting worse at everything as the sort of the beast elements of your vampire personality
even-
takes over. It's very clever.
Even if you are successful, if you're successful with a critical on your hunger dice, you end up like doing it messily, which is really cool. Like you get a messy critical or a bestial failure if you get a critical failure. So there's some cool stuff. I also like the fact that just for someone who's really bad at maths, I like that you just take the dots from the two abilities on your character sheet and you add them together, and that's how many dice you roll, and that's it. That's how that's the limit to how tough it kind of gets. So yeah, it's a fun system. We should totally get involved with that. I think it'd be really good fun. Mr. Hedgebull wants to know if there's any chance for a live stream of For the King. It's a great roguelike RPG for 3 players. Well, if it's for 3 players, it's definitely of interest.
Sounds fun.
For the King.
Yeah, For the King. We'll check it out. We'll have a look. And Mr. Hedgebull also says, keep up the good work making Furlough survivable. Happy to help. Good Luck or a Quick Death says, any chance Andy might venture back into Fallout 76 now the Wastelanders update is out? We have played a bit. we ventured
Yeah,
back. So
Mike and I played some, so there'll be a video going up
at some point in the near future, where we will find out if it is good yet, if it has become good. Nick Good just says, love you guys. Anthony Esposito says, I laughed so hard when Mike said a locker in a past video. A locker? The NBA 2K10?
Oh, the NBA, yes.
Oh, that like mini locker you got with the special edition of NBA 2K10.
I actually had one of those lockers, and I binned it because...
Yeah, because it was bad.
And weird. Yeah.
Did you recycle it? Was it a weird bit of recycling
I probably took it to a charity shop. What I tended to do when my desk at my old magazine job used to get too full was just like haul it all to a charity shop. So someone probably has it. One of 30,000, so a rare item. Ripper's Light wants to know if we're going to get a flashback Oxventure where we see Egbert at the party where poor people were served. Maybe. We are going to get an Oxventure this week, though, right? Is that
Friday we're doing a live D&D stream
That's
again.
An piece of news.
5 to 7 o'clock UK time. So yeah, early afternoon to mid-morning in the States.
Yeah,
thereabouts. Early afternoon.
Content coming.
We had a
lockdown can't stop us.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing the live one last time, and it's a really nice way to top off the week, I think, as well on a Friday. So yeah, Friday, which is in 2 days' time. Mark your calendars. Mark your lockdown calendars. Hannah Milligan.
I think flashbacks would be fun though.
Yeah.
You could work a flashback into a D&D campaign.
But how would you do it when the party wasn't together? Is the thing.
Oh, but it turns out that they did all know each other, but then they all got amnesia.
Time travel.
I know.
Time travel.
Time travel. Yeah, there you go. We time travel back to young Egbert's early days, and we have to not be seen by young Egbert.
Yes.
Oh man, and we have to like observe him like through the curtain.
Yeah. Back to the Future.
Well, I mean, everyone except Egbert could be seen by Egbert. Yeah.
And then Egbert will go in and beat an old man unconscious, and then he'll be like,
his origin
"Hey,
story. Yeah.
Is that Johnny beating unconscious? It's your cousin Marvin."
Get a load of this.
Have I got an idea for you? Yeah.
Yes.
Egbert goes back in time and turns his own grandfather into a seal or something.
I reckon if we
I love it.
I reckon if we all put our hands on that mystical orb thing that Prudence has got, probably it'll happen.
Time travel.
It turned out that Egbert was responsible for Egbert becoming a Dragonborn. He went back in time and did some Dragonborn stuff to him, and then he became a dragon.
I'm still not fully clear on the life cycle of a Dragonborn, so...
Also, I find it hard enough to keep the canon in my head at the best of times without adding like different timelines and things. Hannah Milligan wants us to enjoy some responsible or not quarantinis. We certainly will. I got my beer delivery today. I'm so excited. Lord Poos09 says, how do you think 2 Point Hospital would have you treat legs cut off?
I would have some like fun comedy name for the symptoms of leg cutting off syndrome.
Absolutely legless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there'd be a machine that sort of like expands your legs like a balloon, like a clown making a balloon animal, and then the balloon sort of like expands outwards and becomes a leg. Yeah. Good times.
There's an awful pun here from Old Ends, who says, when you kill a French vampire, you have to stab them with a baguette. It's quite a painstaking process. Painstaking process. That is
God.
Oh wow.
That is a pun that only works when it's written down. Old Ends.
Yeah, sure is.
But I think they added a knowing badumch afterwards.
Okay. Good.
I wonder what French for steak is. Hang on. You know, like a wooden steak.
Oh.
Hang on. French for le steak or something.
I knew this because I ended up watching an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in French when I was on a ski holiday once.
En français, is it un pieu?
I don't know.
Le pieu.
Maybe.
I think it's le pieu.
Yeah.
Or le piquette. Le piquette, possibly.
Yeah.
Le piquette or le poteau or le pieu.
But Buffy the Vampire Slayer was called Buffy contre les vampires, which is Buffy versus the vampires.
Nice. How do you say Slayer in French? They must have called her a Slayer at some point.
I don't know, actually. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It's back when that show was around.
Tueuse. I can say that wrong.
What, are you looking up Slayer in French?
Yeah.
It'd be feminine, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, the masculine is tueur.
That's just like killer, right?
Yeah,
killer. Yeah. Okay.
Killer,
fair enough.
Anyway, this is interesting.
Anyway.
Should we move on to the comments?
Yes,
Yeah.
why not? All
Are
right.
you still playing the Vampire the Masquerade music?
I'm not. I'm playing our normal music for normal people. All right. Well, we have our first video for the comments coming up now.
Merlin has captured Princess Fiona, but you can rescue her by going on a quest.
So instead of enjoying his swamp honeymoon, Shrek must venture forth and complete a bunch of quests. By which I mean, scurry around lamping fairy tale creatures with his rock'em sock'em punching arms.
So that was the Shrek game and a video on the worst launch titles ever released, which I found really fun to put together actually, mainly because they were just like exceptionally bad games we managed to choose.
Why did Shrek become such a meme, I wonder? Is it Smash Mouth?
It probably was Smash Mouth, yeah. Smash Mouth and the fact that he was a weird green, weird confusing green looking ogre.
It was kind of a time when Pixar still like ruled over the CG kids films, so I guess it was really notable that here was a DreamWorks sort of hero.
It's a good film. It's like really well written, Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, less so the sequels.
I've not.
It's the same guys who wrote the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh really? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good pedigree. Yeah, I haven't seen a Shrek film in ages, but they were phenomenally successful, so they must have been doing something right. The first comment for this video, Simeon62205 says, apparently Shrek is a really good speedrunning game. That might actually be a good idea for a list. Terrible games that speedrunners love.
What makes a game a good speedrunning game? Is it that you can complete it really fast? Because that's not an indicator of quality.
It might be there's
I thought the idea
things.
was that like you speedrun good popular games that people spend ages playing. So
Yeah.
it can be done quickly.
Yeah. What makes a speedrunning community like home in on?
It
on a-
must be
on a
like
particular
exploits, you know, things that allow you to skip like large parts of the game by doing sort of particularly.
By doing something
Yeah.
clever.
I saw.
By doing something, yeah.
So they do this thing called Awesome Games Done Quick, which is a really fascinating like charity event for speedrunners, and you get to see some really bonkers stuff. It's where I first saw the thing in this thing in Two Worlds where you can kill the bad guy like immediately.
Yeah.
Like within the first 5 minutes of the game. That was where I first saw that. There's one in Dishonored as well where you can, I think, maybe kill the assassins that are going to kill, and it doesn't really give you, it doesn't give you the ending sequence, but it just breaks the game, and the Empress never gets killed or something like that. So,
Amazing.
so they come up with some really cool, weird, like glitchy stuff. And yeah, Awesome Games Done Quick is always a really good laugh to watch, and it's for charity.
It's really interesting to see. I think they call it sequence breaking in games.
Okay.
There's a bunch of them for like the older Resident Evil games, so you can see what happens if you sequence break them.
Yeah.
Get into different parts of the game you're not supposed to be into already. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. So games that are good for speedrunning. Maybe we'll look into it. I don't think we know enough about speedrunning, but I did do that.
No.
I did do that Two Worlds thing for a video we had where we mentioned it, and it was really fun to just end the game instantly. The thing about it was I had to like roll back the game or something because it was like it only worked on the first patch. They patched it out, which is so less fun because it's not something anyone's going to do accidentally, I don't think. But
No.
yeah. Anyway, another comment from that video.
In fact, they add stuff like that. Do you remember in Far Cry
Yes.
4?
Yeah.
Where you could end the game by just like hanging around while the bad guys like just sit here for a minute.
Take them in to like stay
like-
there.
Yeah, they should have embraced it
Yeah.
and gone like, yeah, this is a fun Easter egg. It's not a glitch, it's a fun Easter egg. Yeah.
Definitely. Mercury says, thus single-handedly killing off the tradition of using the number of bits a console has as shorthand for how powerful it is. Not true, we use teraflops now. Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but yeah, we basically, teraflops are the new bits. Back in the olden days, how many bits your console had was how good it was. Now...
Yeah, I never really thought about teraflops being the new bits, but they basically are, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, oh, this console is 16-bit or 32-bit. It's like, well, we can do a million teraflops.
But I can't see them ever printing it on the chassis of the console itself, because like the Mega Drive literally said 16-bit on it. Like that
there's
meant
still time.
Yeah.
There's still time to design the chassis
The
of
problem is
PS5 and new
teraflops
Xbox.
is a horrible word.
It is a horrible.
So they should call them glams or something cool.
I liked what the Neo Geo used to say. What was it like?
What's that?
It was something like Neo Geo Max Pro Gear Spec or something. Just
Oh yeah, Neo Geo was dope.
it was utter nonsense. But
I was
On
talking
the
to someone the
actual-
other day about how the name Xbox 360 was inspired. Like how it was a brilliant name for a console that was like We don't want to call ourselves the Xbox 2 because the PS is already on the PS3. How can we legitimately put a 3 in the name of this console?
Yeah,
and they're just like, 360 is a thing. 360 is a number that's fun. Let's put 360 in the name of this console.
And then they had to go backwards. They had to go to 1 for Xbox One. Yeah, the Neo Geo, when you started a Neo Geo game, it would flash up on the screen, Neo Geo max 330 mega pro gear spec.
Pro gear spec.
That's like all.
You see, they're
cool words.
they're under ambitious these days with the new Xbox. It should be the Cyber Pro Hero Razor gear spec.
2000.
Ultimate 2000. Teraflop kicker or something.
Call us Xbox. We'll name your console for you. Final comment from that video. Jason N says, "How dare you? Street Fighter the movie was amazing." Now, Andy, I assume you put this comment in so you could defend Street Fighter the movie.
Yeah, I described it in the video as what was it? The game was a bad game based on a bad movie based on a good game.
Right.
And
which is a fair appraisal.
I think that's fair because the Street Fighter movie is objectively bad, but it is also incredibly fun to watch.
Entertaining,
And like, what a magnificent pop cultural artifact.
Yeah.
It's got Raul Julia. It's got Kylie Minogue is in it. For God's sake.
Ming-Na,
VR,
and Mulan.
Yeah,
she's
incredible.
in it.
What a pop culture. Yeah.
I remember asking my dad to take me to the cinema to see it because I was a little nipper, and he was like, "I am not taking you to see that garbage." Which is fair enough. I caught it on video later, I guess.
And Raul Julia's performance is genuinely one of the best things ever committed to film. That still doesn't mean it is a good film.
No.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No.
It's fun. It's a fun film.
I like any film where a Belgian plays like famous US Army Colonel or Air Force Colonel William Guile.
Going to kick Bison's ass. That classic Californian accent.
I really think that Arnold Schwarzenegger opened doors for people with weird accents to play like all American characters. Remember in like True Lies where he's like a photocopier salesman, but he's like Austrian accented and massive, and no one suspects that he's secretly a spy. It's like, come on, not even his wife.
Yeah.
Anyway,
in Commando, where his name is John Matrix,
exactly,
is definitely not a name anyone would ever.
Yeah, certainly not with any kind of Austrian origin. But anyway,
all right, what's the next video?
Let's do a clip from the next video.
Crowdfunding platforms such as Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Fig have become popular ways for developers to fund their video games because they can go straight to the fans for money rather than having to explain to publishers why a game about a skeleton in a hoodie will be popular, actually.
That was a clip from a video about Kickstarter rewards that were weird. So this is sort of a follow-up to the previous video we did on this subject.
Yes.
Turns out there were a load more weird Kickstarter rewards. I really like the first comment on this, and we'll have to play the clip again so people can understand what it's about. But basically, Okari says, that moment of confusion at the start of the video where Andy's voice is playing, but the guy on screen moving his mouth isn't Andy. So let me play the clip again and you'll see exactly what this is all about.
Crowdfunding platforms such as Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Fig have become popular.
There you go. That is not Andy, even though it says Andy's name at the bottom and Andy's words are coming out of his mouth.
You gave me a great idea because we can't get into our studio because it's locked.
Right.
Why don't we just record a script and then we'll find footage of people on the internet making the same mouth sounds, and then we can.
Like those...
You went a different way with that than I expected. I thought you were going to say, let's take our old footage from like 3 years ago and then redub ourselves. So although our mouths won't be completely in sync with what we're saying, you do get to see our faces and hear our voices at the same time.
We could do that thing where you replace the mouth.
Yes.
Our own mouth, so it's even more.
Or,
like Adam and Joe.
Deep fake our own faces onto our old faces. Yeah, with our own voices.
That doesn't help us though, because we'd still need to
deep fake ourselves somehow.
Very confusing. I thought it was quite funny. I watched that clip back and it's like, it does look like your voice is coming out of that guy's mouth. But
we're all trying to deal with the new challenges of not being able to be in a studio and film ourselves like we normally would. And this is one of the challenges.
How we're dealing with it.
Sidebar, a lot of people in the comments are going to be very sore, Andy, if you don't do some kind of Bison impression.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
But also, everybody, if you've got headphones in, like, maybe hold them 3 or 4 inches away from your ears.
Like, hover them about here. Go for it, Andy.
All right. All I want to do is create the perfect genetic soldier. Not for power, not for evil, but good.
Bravo. Bravo.
Very good.
You did a little bit of a Tim Curry space thing there, where you almost corpsed in the middle of your own line and just kept going.
Keep your old god. In fact, now might be a good time to pray to him. For I beheld Satan as he fell from heaven like lightning. And then Psycho cried.
Does lightning fall from heaven?
Yes. Have you ever seen lightning like it falls from heaven?
As a lot of people are pointing out in the comments, by the way, that clip looked a lot like bad lip reading, and bad lip reading is absolutely hilarious. I love those ones. All the NFL ones are amazing. My absolute favourite one though is I think early season 2 of Game of Thrones they maybe did, and they did the entire thing but lip read it as if they were a bunch of kids working at a fairground.
That was
for a summer. It was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, very very good. Like YouTube royalty, those guys.
Oh, how about a like spike for Andy's Bison?
Yes, go on.
If anything deserves it, it's got to be that. All right, everybody,
3,
hit the
2,
like button.
1. Hit that button.
And like spike. There we go. Done.
Lots of Andy emoji in the comments. Lots of people saying like lightning. Applause for that, great.
Is that like your party trick now? When someone's like, "What's your special skill?" and you're like, "Bison impressions."
Yes.
Knowing the script off.
I jump up on the table and then I do a Psycho Crusher.
I would love to see that.
Do you remember parties? Do you remember parties with humans?
And it's really important you don't end up in A&E at the moment. So
yes.
Don't add to the burden.
You saying I can't do a Psycho Crusher? I did it once.
Oh God, please.
I got the blue fire and everything.
Cool.
I really did it once.
Second comment on this video. Kirby Fan Prime says the weirdest thing about the blocked by Kamiya reward was the Twitter ARG that ran concurrently with the Kickstarter, where success would earn the reward of Kamiya unblocking everyone on Twitter. It succeeded. So how does that work?
Apparently that was like the kind of top tier, additional reward tier thing. Was Kamiya unblocks everyone, and they reached the target. So I haven't checked to see if he's actually done it, but I'm pretty sure that Kamiya has now unblocked everyone.
But surely the way to do it is that he unblocks everyone, but then only blocks the people who paid for the blocking reward tier, because then they can say that they're the only people blocked by Kamiya.
It becomes a more precious commodity then. Yeah.
That's how I would have done it anyway.
And what if you're someone that really actually genuinely pissed him off and he wants to keep you blocked, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there could be like real horrendous people out there who have
been, in what way was it an ARG? Because someone mentioned that it was like an augmented reality game, alternative reality game, whatever. How was it an ARG?
Well,
maybe it was an ARG to unlock that final tier of the Kickstarter.
That tier, I assume it was something like that. Yeah. That's super involved for a Kickstarter.
Fun, wasn't he at a show one time with like a stamp that just said blocked, and he was like stamping people's hands?
That's fun. I like that.
Okay, so it was like challenges. So people sending cosplay photos. They got a certain amount of retweets, certain amounts of YouTube likes.
That's pretty good.
The fan art.
That's some good.
And then when they got
social engagement.
Yeah, and then Kamiya unblocked everyone.
Aww.
Amazing.
But I mean, if he's having to unblock everyone and then reblock certain people and unblock certain people, then the game's never going to come out. He's just going to spend all his time.
He'll wear his fingers out on the block.
Maybe the Kickstarter can fund like a unblock intern, someone who just maintains Kamiya's block list.
Yeah, true.
All right, final comment on this video is from Odysseus, who says, listening to this while gardening and heard Medieval Surf Simulator, which I'm not going to lie, caused a minor momentary freak out. Yes, medieval surfing would be a pretty entertaining game.
I think that would be a fun DLC. Like you invent surfing. Like you could surf in the past because all the things you would need to surf existed.
That's true.
Just probably no one did.
Yeah.
You could get a bit of wood and a wave. And those two things exist.
I mean, I don't know if 13th century Bohemia is landlocked, but it must have been a lake or something.
Well,
I think the reason you wouldn't surf in medieval times is if you so much as like twisted your ankle, you were basically done for, or you were lame for the rest of your 40-year life because
you're lame
they didn't
for the
know
rest
how to
of your
fix
life.
anyone.
Jane, you're lame for the rest of your life if you're not surfing.
Hell of a pronouncement.
Oh, man.
There.
What if we found like records, like a tapestry that proves someone was surfing?
Yeah, if you look in the back of the Bay Tapestry, probably someone's surfing.
Yeah.
Someone's surfing along there. Yeah.
Probably no one's looked at it closely.
Properly. They thought it was a different thing. They thought it was some sort of new threshing technique.
Legolas does it in Lord of the Rings, and that's real history, right?
Yeah. On a shield.
Yeah, that's medieval times. So Legolas invented surfing. Yeah.
I really wanted to like Kingdom Come Deliverance, but turns out it's quite boring being a peasant in medieval times.
Turns out it's hard and boring and difficult to eat enough food and stay healthy.
Yeah. Anyway, surfing has been around in like Polynesian culture for ages.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I've seen Moana, also an accurate historical movie.
So there, basically, give us surfing DLC.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Should we check out some last comments? There's been lots and lots of them. Kaiser Darklight says, "Hello guys, I have a quarantine song. It's called Stay the F at Home. It's geared for adults, you don't say, and it's quite funny. Look for Santa in front of a keyboard. Okay, is that on? Maybe that's on YouTube." Gaijin Gamer says, "Love the pick-me-ups from your channel. Waiting on my 60 Skells tee. Yes, we have a 60 Skeletons t-shirt, which is a really fun design, and they've started arriving at people's houses. Which
we see photos of people wearing the new Skeletons shirts.
They look really good. Yeah,
they do look good. If you fancy one, then they're on the official Teespring Outside Xbox store.
Yeah, it should be under this video as well, right? Like
probably
down there somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah,
official merch store. Just scroll down. It's in the description.
Yeah.
Armour Fargoot says very nice things about all of us, saying that we're handsome and Jane's beautiful. So thank you very much. You're too kind. You're too kind.
Nice.
Luke T. Simmons says, "Had to pause for a meeting. Atmosphere, yes. All right, we'll look into whether we can get Atmosphere to work. And maybe we could dress up as well if we've still got some leftover Halloween costumes or something."
It's nice because it would be like a definite 1 hour long game.
Yeah.
1 hour long stream. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I like that.
Jordan Tomney's just been convinced to buy Animal Crossing.
Yes, good. Cool. Well done.
You'll do very little, but you'll have fun doing it.
Lord Puzo9 says, "Normal music for normal people. Bold of you to assume any of us are normal, Mike. I'm sure you're all normal. Being weird's normal. Everyone's weird, right? That's how it works."
Exactly.
Eva Brennan says, "What do you get when you throw a grenade in a French bathroom? Give up? Linoleum blown apart." Oh my god, that's an awful joke. That's physically painful.
I just got dumber. And I can't afford the brain cells right now.
We're already losing enough of them as it is.
To the quarantinis.
Yeah.
Daniel Houck says, "I think Games Done Quick has an awful Games Done Quick sometimes." That's good. Yeah, Games Done Quick is great. Anthony Esposito says, "Question, when you come up with the funny quips during a video, are they on the spot or are they thought of off screen?"
What kind of
depends
video?
what kind of video. Like when we're doing a list feature type thing, that's all sort of scripted and we come up with jokes ahead of time. Anything that we're playing, that's all straight off the top of the dome.
I have my jokes fed to me through an earpiece.
I have a team of
writers who watch my gameplay and come up with some lukewarm good jokes about what's on screen at the time.
I was thinking about this. You know what the best writing job in television is right now?
What?
Is writing the runway quips for the judges on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay, yeah.
There's no way they're coming up with all of those on the fly.
No,
absolutely. They're written for them, and then they deliver them.
And then you just got to write 10 or 11
puns about a dress.
Quips.
Rude jokes about a dress. Yeah, that would be fun. I would do that. I would totally take that job. Yeah.
William Kruger says, "Watching Andy do those lines with his voice out of sync is FMV game worthy." Yes, it's difficult to get Skype to all be in sync, but I think
are we a bit out of sync?
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, it's just sort of Skype being Skype. But
it has the feel of Andy in a 90s FMV game.
Yeah, the dialogue quality, the quality of delivery, all FMV game worthy.
Would it help for the Ox Venture on Friday if I wore a bandana over my mouth so you couldn't see my lips moving?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Help to sell the...
Might be harder to hear you though as well, is the only problem.
Well, if it's a thin bandana, I'm sure it's...
Nate the Mediocre, as you remember, welcome. Ben Sadler says, "First you talk about VHS, now you talk about parties. What's with these old-time references?" Yeah, parties has become an old-time reference, you guys. We can barely remember them.
It may be false nostalgia where I'm well, party's great because actually I'm the one that would not go and flake out to watch Netflix instead. But now suddenly I've got to be at a party.
Oriental Habit says, "What must we do to get that Resident Evil 3 playthrough?" It's happening. It's happening soon. It's been a little bit delayed, but it will be coming soon.
Starting imminently.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for it. Lissa Leo says, "Not possible, Jane. I have AirPods. If I remove them, the video stops." Is that true? Do AirPods know when you take them out of your ears and they stop the video?
Yeah. It's usually a good feature because in theory, you don't want the thing to keep playing when you've taken your earbuds out, you know?
Bizarre. Roman Pagan says, Tolkien did write those books to be a pseudo-history. Yeah, but it didn't have elves and stuff, surfing elves, did it? Lissa Leo is now deaf. That's an update from the AirPods. So Lissa Leo didn't take her AirPods.
You
Jane
can't
did
hear
warn
me
you.
say
that's
this,
true.
but we're sorry. We're very sorry.
Daniel Eduardo Moore says, some cash to help you escape to the one place untouched by capitalism, space.
We're gonna need to start a space fund to get to space. Yeah.
Still, they call me a warlord. And that?
Diana Maria says, what happened to the flaming skull that joined the 60 skeletons and lives in the hammer?
Still there.
Yeah, it's there. It's just it's project managing, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, and Johnny referenced the flaming skull in the most recent, like, pre-taped Oxventure D&D session. So not the live stream we did a couple of weeks back. But yeah, he's like 60 skeletons and one flaming skull.
Yeah.
So yeah, flaming skull's still there. Flaming skull is
Flaming skull was in the museum episode.
project manager.
I had to find stock imagery of a flaming skull.
Just steal the Doom artwork. You know, one of those lost souls or something.
Yeah.
Steal the Doom artwork.
Yeah, just put it in there. It's fine. They'll never know. Tom Titherington says, Jane's 2-point hospital research lab love drama will keep the writers busy. Yeah. That team of writers you've got, Jane. They're going to be well busy.
Yeah. Heard
They're
all
all
about
up here.
your sex lab, Jane.
Well,
I
there's
tuned into the stream just to check how you were getting on, and it was all steamy hospital romance.
I needed to research a cure very quickly for being struck by lightning, and I put my two best researchers on it, Dr.
The
Nora.
sparks flew in more ways than one.
Dr.
Bobby.
Love.
Yeah, and they had clashing personalities, but the sparks flew, and they found a cure, and also they found so much more than a cure.
They found a cure for their loneliness.
Yeah. But also, Dr. Bobby has an ex working at the hospital.
Oh, no.
Wendy the
Oh,
ex.
it's juicy.
So it's really like high drama. It's like vintage ER in my 2-point hospital playthrough at the moment.
Only no one gets their arm cut off by a helicopter.
Not yet. I mean, probably, but maybe not.
Good.
Melancholy Duck says, can we get a full episode where Andy speaks only in other accents? It's what we all need right now to get us through these troubling times.
What accents can you do, Andy? Nothing offensive.
Arthur Morgan and Roger. That's it.
Nothing problematic, just the good ones.
Yeah.
Arthur Morgan, you could do Arthur Morgan for like.
Well, I don't know. I'd keep it up for a whole episode.
I bet you could.
You bet you could.
Do it for charity.
Think how many hours of Arthur Morgan you've heard.
For charity, Arthur. Yeah.
Come on, Dutch. Yeah, maybe.
But can you say things that aren't like era appropriate? Can you say like, what's the password to the Wi-Fi as Arthur Morgan?
Now hold on, fellas. What's the password to the Wi-Fi?
Actually works quite well.
It works. It totally works.
Dang earpods. No, it's okay.
You're making a rod for your own back.
It's
Yeah, Andy, 'cause
challenging.
it's gonna happen.
It is a challenging role for you as an actor.
Mr. Logan Cladd donates very generously and says, thank you guys for bringing us all joy in these dark times. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Kelsey Burns says, is there somewhere we could send you stuff? Lots of extra time lately to work on projects, and I'd love to make something for my favourite people. Not really. There's not really anywhere you could send us stuff at the moment. There is an office that we occasionally went to, but we haven't been there in like a month now.
Well, fingers crossed, this will all blow over.
Yeah.
It's soon enough, and we do have a posting address at our studio, so we will get on that and share that once we're back in the studio, to which we're all looking forward to.
And finally, Hunter M2.
Oh God!
said,
In fact, now might be a good time to pray to him. I beheld
God, he's
Satan
crossing the streams now.
Oh,
He's
no.
doing
fell from hell.
bison
Gone
lines
wrong.
with Arthur Morgan's voice.
It's gone wrong.
It's gone off the edge.
Okay.
Hunter M2 finally says, finished binging Oxventure recently. Thanks for all you do, especially at a time when it's so important. Hopefully one of the things that comes out of this is more funding and consideration for artists and content creators. Yeah, I think definitely like artists who maybe struggle to get their stuff out there as easily as we do. Definitely, yeah, support your favourite artists. I'm sure they're sort of struggling at the moment. So, yeah, I think
I would like to address a number of comments on a similar theme in the live chat. This one is from Patricia Midkiff, who says, we still need clarification on what you guys think about Jane being Shamir, Mike being Bruja, and Andy being the Gangrel or Malkavian. I also saw variations on this comment from other people saying Mike is the Toreador, because he always plays the Toreador, and perhaps Andy the Bruja. But I don't know. What do you think? If we're gonna round this off with a little more vampire chat, as would be my preference.
Are we talking about what we would play in the tabletop role-playing game?
What you would play if we were to start a campaign of Vampire the Masquerade, and also IRL, if you had to become a vampire, if you were embraced by one of the kindred, which clan do you think you'd probably get on best in?
IRL, definitely the Toreadors. They're just having all the sexy fun, and they're all hanging out in like swanky clubs and stuff.
But I put it to you, Ventrue have all the money and power, and also all the vampires are basically sexy, except I'm going to say the Nosferatu. So
I think being a Ventrue sounds stressful though. It sounds like a lot like having a job that never stops.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true.
I'd play a Toreador because that's just like my D&D character.
That's your Anne Rice vampire, isn't it? That's your classic Anne Rice vampire. Yeah.
I'm not that bothered about
artistic, fruity vampire.
Like Bruja. They're kind of strong-willed and stuff, whereas I'm more of a kind of I like to just get along and party.
I'm a big like Camarilla apologist. I think vampires need a society to keep them safe.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not.
They need the masquerade.
The Camarilla gets a bit weird at the top level though, doesn't it? They're all like having these.
I mean, what ruling class doesn't get weird?
It's true. They have all these like ballroom parties where they're wearing dresses made out of skin and things. It's a bit strange.
Surely that's just the Simiske, right?
No, apparently. Well, maybe I don't.
What?
Apparently,
wow.
There are these like elder Camarilla vampires who are all just like super weird because they've been alive for like 800 years or something. So
it turns out if you're around for long enough, you start making ball gowns out of
human skin, basically.
Right.
Yeah, in real life, definitely a Toreador. If we were playing the tabletop, TTRPG, I think I'd probably like to play one of the more sort of weird or like esoteric, challenging classes. You know, yeah, we'll see.
And he's Toreador though, for life.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Corazon the vampire. All right.
Oh yeah, basically. Yeah. Now that I think about it.
So thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's been a really fun show. We've run a little long, but hopefully you guys don't mind. Thank you so much for all your questions and comments. Stay safe.
What have we got coming up?
Yeah, what have we got coming up? Tomorrow.
We've got a video tomorrow, which is about game
Thursday.
world.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Is it? Tomorrow's video. Yeah, it's about times you sort of really made a mess of the game world itself. So there's some fun stuff in there. We will be doing D&D on Outside Xbox live at 5 PM on Friday, which is the following day, the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
And Luke's made a lovely promo graphic for it that might give you some clues as to which character it focuses on, so you can have a look at that.
Speaking of Luke and Ellen, they are going to be streaming Animal Crossing tomorrow afternoon, about this time, maybe slightly earlier, tomorrow. And on Friday, they've got Show of the Weekend live.
Yeah,
so
Show of the Almost Weekend.
Show of the Almost Weekend will be going up just before the D&D
that'll be
session.
D&D pre-game, basically.
Yeah, so if you're available on Friday afternoon, we've got, I don't know, 3 hours, 3 hours of that good content for you.
And then looking into the week ahead, after the weekend, we've mentioned Resi 3. We're going to start playing that start next week. It's very exciting. Also, Andy and I played some Fallout 76, and that will go up at some point, maybe Saturday, maybe next week. We will see. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Let us remind you that it is Wednesday. Hopefully that helps.
And it's the month of April.
Eternal love and respect to healthcare workers and key workers and essential workers.
If you're selling groceries or delivering food or working sanitation, just
keeping society running now, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Keeping the world going while we're all stuck indoors, then good job, well done. Yeah. We're grateful. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wash your dang hands, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.